Oh, oh, hello, dear ones. I'm here, and one of the things that's really nice about having me around is that I can help remove all kinds of symptoms. This is a hint to Arian that I can handle her cold for her, which is good. I like that. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about what I would like to do today, and that is talk about gratitude. I think this is a perfect time of the year to talk about gratitude because gratitudes are the things that we should be thinking about. A lot of us are running around getting presents for people and trying to do things and, getting into the spirit of the season, and other people are feeling depressed and upset, and other people are feeling like Scrooges or not super happy with the season or trying to ignore the season altogether. And however you're feeling, it doesn't matter, but there's a lot of stress going on. There's a lot of overwhelm. And really the big thing here is to just start thinking about more like thinking of this as the culmination of the year, of all of the things that you have done this year. You're coming to a time when you are giving, and you are giving from your heart, hopefully. Some people are giving because they have to, or because somebody expects it, or because it's tradition, or it's, that's way things are done. And however you are, you see the season. What's really important is that you are doing it from your heart. So that means that if you give a gift that you have gone to, you found that you feel is really important for somebody, really significant for them, that is giving it from your heart. If you say, oh, well, they want such and such, I'll just give them this. That's not from your heart, and it's just an obligation. So lots of times what we do is we forget that we don't have to do it from obligation. We can do it from the heart space. And that's really one of the things I would like to remind you about with the season coming up. The other thing is, as I said, gratitudes. And we are coming to the end of a year. It's been a really testy, dangerous, heavy-duty year, and they're only going to get worse, so you might as well get used to them, people. And when you think of each month that you have lived on this earth this year, there are gratitudes that you can have. And when you say the gratitudes for each month, you're collecting a certain kind of energy. It's an energy of openness, of healing, of heart warmth, to remind yourself that you have survived, that you have done well in so many ways. And so I'm going to ask you to do that right now. And we're going to start by the usual way, of course, which is imagine the crystalline grounding cord coming up from the center of the earth, as wide as the room that you're in, going all the way up into the sun. And then allowing the white Christed light to come through me into you. Put out your hands and let it fill you up. Let it be in all kinds of spaces inside your body. And really at this moment, allow it to fill up each of your chakras. Let them open up as much as you can stand. And then allow each of your chakras to let go of whatever is not serving you, whatever is not at this level of being. So starting at the 7th, and then the 6th, and the 5th, which is your throat, and your heart, and your solar plexus behind your stomach, down into your belly button, and then 3 inches above your navel, above your pubic bone, which is your genital area, and then the base of your spine and all the way underneath your feet in your grounding chakra. And of course, your higher self above you. All of those, let them all be open, particularly your heart, because you really need to let go of any grudges, any sadnesses, any hurts, anything that didn't quite measure up, disappointments. Just let those go out of you right now. You may feel them in a little bit again, but right now, let's let yourself be free of all of that, free of those things that might get in your way, because frankly, dear ones, you don't need to have this stuff in the way, even for a little bit of time. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do this, and you can do this quietly, but I'm going to walk you through the months. And we're going to start in January. And whether or not you remember what happened in January, I'd like you to say, I am grateful for all of the good things that happened to me in January. All of the people I was around, all the things that I did, all the events that happened with me, and I am accepting and grateful for them. Some of them might have been traumatic, some of them might have been good, but they all contributed to you this year, and they're all part of your learning, evolving experience. That's all you need to say. And then let's go on to February and do the very same thing. And I'm moving fairly quickly, but it doesn't take a lot. You don't have to spend a lot of time thinking, oh, what did I do in February or January? Who did I talk to? What did I do, or what did I experience? Maybe you remember those things, maybe you don't. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is put out that you're grateful for those experiences. You're grateful for having been through February, that what you did in February. If you remember particular things, like for example, Arian went to Hawaii, and she was grateful for being there with her friend in Hawaii. You know, you can say that to yourself. And by the way, if you want to slow this down, you can stop this recording, do it, and then move on to the next one. And then we go to March. What did you do that you were grateful for in March? Remember, right off the bat, you're grateful for having gone through March. You're grateful for having experienced March and the people that were part of your life in March, the events that happened, the things that you did, maybe the things in the world, anything that happened in March that felt good to you or even bad. Remember, learning experiences are all part of the growth and evolvement. And take a deep breath at this point and just imagine that anything that doesn't fit in your heart, let that all go. No longer serves you. These gratitudes are coming back to you, by the way, as gifts. Because when you are grateful for something, you're sending out that energy and it comes back as blessings. I imagine it thinking of like you're sending out stuff and it comes back like butterflies or hearts flying into you. Okay, so now we're in April. And April, what were you grateful for? What gratitudes do you have for the events, the people, the understandings, the healings, all of this? Let that be, you be grateful for all of this stuff. Letting it go, all those things that were in the way, and taking on the gratitude for the month. And now into May. And as we come toward the warmer months, might even feel your heart opening a little bit more. Grateful for being in May, for having all of the things that happened to you, for the experiences, for the people, for the understandings, for the learnings, for all of that stuff that brought you through the month. And as I said, you do not have to work at it. All you have to do is just listen to my words and they all come through. And if you do wish to stop and say, let me think a little more, let me feel a little more. And then in June, all of the gratitudes for all of the things you did, felt, learned, all the people you met, interacted with, all the experiences you had, the good, the bad, the happy, the joyous. Be grateful for all of that. Even if things are bad, there's something you can learn from them, something you can take away. I'm grateful that I had this bad experience and survived. That is very important. And then July, more than halfway through the year now, all these experiences I had, all these feelings I experienced, all these ups and downs and emotions, all the people I met, talked to, interacted with, all the events that happened, all of this, I'm grateful for having gone through this and learned and evolved. And if you feel like you haven't been learning and evolving, this is a good opportunity to assess that now, because lots of times when people go through these things, they don't even think about evolving. They're just like, I survived. But be grateful that you did survive. And August, here we are in August already, the height of the heat. And how did you survive? How did you do? Be grateful that you did what you did, or felt what you did, or lived how you lived. The feelings, the experiences, the learnings. And then into September, and all the joy and anger and hurt and delight that you had, all the experiences, all the learnings, the evolving, the places you were. If you were in different places, if you were in the same place, if you had work experiences that you really liked or disliked, remember you survived the month. Be grateful for that. October. October is a time when you know, it's interesting that the end of the month is the time of when the land of the living and the land of the dead come close together. When we have Halloween and Day of the Dead and the beginning of November, this is a time of major transitions from one reality to another. Be grateful for how you managed any transitions in your life in October, or that other people did. If anybody, and I'm mentioning this because this happened with Arian, someone very close to her died. So what are you grateful for? Be grateful for the people who were in your life and that they lived in your life. Be grateful for all of the learning you had and the feelings and emotions. And if this was a month where you did have someone who died, imagine them passing from the veil of one reality to another. And that this is a really interesting place. Be grateful that it was done smoothly and easily, if it was. And if it wasn't, be grateful that they finally are over their misery. And maybe I mentioned this in October because as I said, Arian experienced that, but that could be for any one of the months. And now into November. November, we've just gone through a time of Thanksgiving, of what are you thankful for. And of course, I did something in November about gratitudes, about giving thanks. But now I'm doing it for the whole year. So at Thanksgiving, you had the opportunity to be grateful for something. And now just think of the whole month that you went through. You created a time of gratitude for yourself. You managed to survive through November. And now we're here in December, only about halfway through the month, not even quite actually. And you can even imagine what you're grateful for just so far. And now, as you're doing that, imagine all of those hearts of gratitude, or butterflies of gratitude, flying into your heart, filling you up with your gratefulness for being here, for doing what you needed to do, for surviving this year. Because, dear ones, you are going to be needing this when you come to the next year. And more importantly, before you get all those gifts for your friends and family, just imagine what you would give them from your heart now. How, with these kinds of gratitudes that you have, what would you really like to give somebody? Not what they expect or what they demand, but what is right for them, what will touch their heart, what will open them up, which will make them feel important, loved, cherished. And what would you like that would make you feel open, loved, and cherished? Maybe you've been saying, well, I want this. But when you do this exercise, you say, what I really want is something else. And, that gives you a way of seeing, oh, what's really important to me in my relationships with myself, with my friends, my family, with my co-workers, with the world. So that's what being here in a place of gratitude is. Oh, I'm grateful for what I accomplished this year. I'm grateful for what I had. I'm grateful for meeting and working with all of these people. I'm grateful for having love in my life. There's so many things that you can be grateful for. The smallest being, oh, I'm grateful for seeing that butterfly on a leaf. And the largest being, I'm grateful for being alive. So, and whether you believe that or not, you don't get you get to choose what's important, what you're grateful for. You don't have to say, oh, I have to be grateful for that. You're not. Get to touch the gratitudes that feel right for you. And what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to fill yourself up with a rainbow of light. And, do it as a spiral. Don't just imagine the light coming down from the sun, but imagine it like a spiral and filling you up with joy and laughter and happiness and groundedness and reality and acceptance and purpose, all of those things that you can now accept, that you can be grateful for having, for being and doing. And so I'm going to leave you now with this idea that take a few moments each day for the rest of the year to think of one thing that you were grateful for each day. What are you grateful for today? If you have one gratitude, that's great. If you have lots more, that's okay too. You only need one. And as you go to the end of the year, You're saying, I'm grateful for this year because I learned so much. And in the next year, I'll be doing and being at a higher level of being, a higher level of myself, and I will be projecting that into the world. Thank you.